There are multiple names that the Flyers are connected to. I want to get to one that actually does feel real. I want to get to one that I think is likely going to amount to something. I don't know what yet. I don't know how likely it is yet, but I am going to give a shout out to my co-host over on Snow the Goalie, Anthony Sanfilippo, who was on this a good while ago and did a nice, thorough write-up over on OnPattison. But he was talking to me about it the other day, and he's like, you wouldn't believe what name the Flyers are linked to. And I said, what? He goes, it's a Russian guy. And I said, is it Maxim Shabanov? And he's like, how did you know? And I said, well, because they were rumored to be in conversations about him a few months ago. So anyway, Shabanov, he's 24 years old. He plays for Yaroslavl Lokomotiv, and he's a really solid player, 24 years old. He is a finalist for the regular season MVP award, the Golden Stick. Don't expect me to give you a scouting report on Artyom Galimov. Not doing that. I've never heard of the guy until I saw this graphic yesterday. But he's a finalist for the league MVP of the KHL. And I know that some people are like very hesitant about the KHL and, you know, is that going to translate well to the NHL? The real concern with Shabanov is that he's 5'8" and he's 160 pounds. By comparison, I am a little bit shorter and I'm a little bit heavier than Shabanov. And now, would I say I would be a great NHL prospect? No, because I can't really play hockey anyway, but also because I'm a small guy. And an 82-game season with this travel, you're going to wither away. It happens every year. We watch big players in this league wither away by the time the playoffs come around. So if you're only 5'8" and 160 pounds, and you're playing every night, chances are it's going to be very complicated. Now, let me see. Can I do this without causing a problem? Here we go. This is just to give you an idea of what this guy can do. This little dipsy-do twirl-ski, right? He is a really talented player. He is a very gifted player. He's got incredible handles. He's a guy who absolutely would be a very good playmaker for the Philadelphia Flyers. The question is whether or not he's going to end up coming over here. Now, I will also note that, like, if you start to do a deeper dive on Shabanov, like this one, he kind of plays it off his own skate, which is also absurd. By the way, like on a breakaway, he has the presence of mind and slows the game down enough where he plays it. You see it. He plays it off his own skate, kicks it back to himself, and then goes 5-hole. This guy would be electric in Philadelphia. And assuming that he's able to translate his game into the NHL, which is a more physical league, which has less space, which is a more competitive league and overall a better league, the best hockey league in the world, if he's able to translate that game to the U.S. and the Flyers can get him as a UFA, that could be as impactful of a signing as anything in this world because, you know, he might not have 40-goal upside, but can he net you 20, 25 goals? Can he, I don't know, can he play second-line minutes? Can he play third-line minutes? Can he provide you a boost on the power play? Maybe he's not on the top power play unit. Could he be a guy who's a playmaker on the second power play unit? I would say it's very likely. Now, in fairness, Shabanov has, you know, an interesting choice. Right now he plays for his hometown team. He's 24 years old. He could choose to re-up and remain in the KHL, or he can choose to take his talents to the NHL. And as I said before, it had been reported there were as many as, I think, 7 teams a couple of months ago that were kind of keeping tabs on him. And Anthony's reporting over at OnPattison is that there is a growing belief that he may have things whittled down to 2 teams, that he might have 2 teams that he'd be the most interested in playing for in the NHL, and that would be the Philadelphia Flyers and the Vegas Golden Knights. Well, we know that the Golden Knights are a damn good team. They are year in and year out a legitimate threat to win the Stanley Cup. We know that this is consistent. We get it, right? The Flyers are not that. However, the Flyers have done a very good job of late getting KHL players to the NHL, most notably Matvei Michkov, and along with him came Ivan Fedotov, who, if you just kind of take it back a little bit, Fedotov is very highly thought of in this organization, and you know, had to go do the military service, and he was playing the KHL for a year, but they managed to get him over here. Alexei Kolosov, it didn't work out, but they did manage to also bring him over. It stands to reason that the Flyers are going to look to bring in a couple more Russian players at some point between this year and next year. Again, big part of that is likely trying to kind of make Matvei Michkov feel a little bit more comfortable as he's learning English, to also have a couple people who maybe speak the same language. Igor Zamula may be on the team next year. maybe the seventh defenseman, may not be on this team next year. Who knows? Also worth noting that Shabanov was a teammate of Igor Zamula on like a U16 team in Russia. I don't think that that's going to be the thing that's ultimately going to help him decide on the Flyers over the Golden Knights. But I do think it's a very interesting point. And I do think that ultimately it's a very good thing for the Flyers that they are at least looking outside of just the UFA and RFA market in the NHL. I have no problem whatsoever with them looking abroad and trying to bring in some of the best players. Once again, friends, like this guy is he's a finalist. He's one of the 3 finalists for the KHL MVP award, the Golden Stick. Call the KHL what you want. Being able to convince a guy who he might end up winning the award, but a guy who's a finalist for that award in what I would say is probably the second best league in the world, you could certainly do worse. So if the Flyers can get Shabanov over, I have no idea what a contract looks like. I can't imagine that it's an $8 million deal. Is it 4? Is it 4.5? Is it 5? Is it a short-term deal? Is it a long-term deal? I don't know.